Good afternoon. Welcome to this session of the MMPM003, which is the Product and Brand Management. Today we are going to move into the block 2 part of the Product and Brand Management, which essentially deals with organizing of the new product development. That's what we are going to focus in today's session. We are going to learn as to what is the kind of organization that product managers essentially do to offer new products into their portfolio. We looked at the portfolio in the last class, and today we are going to look at how new products are essential and why they're essential, and who takes the responsibility and how it is organized across the organization at different levels, whether it's at a corporate level or whatever level, so that it meets the future objectives of the organization. One fact we have realized that to be competitive in the market space, the company needs to have a very robust product portfolio. Products often do mature and get saturated in the marketplace and gets weeded out. Last class we talked about how decisions are taken to weed out the weaker products. Today we are going to concentrate on if new products have to be, if as old products are going out, there is some kind of a substitution which also needs to be done because the needs are there, but the needs undergo a change. For example, when in the yesteryears, earlier times, when we used to listen to a cassette, music cassettes to entertain ourselves, we used to be tangibly go by the records, the cassettes, then on to the MPVs and also the compact discs. We found that over a period of time, with the application of technology, the new products are brought into the market by the product managers to cater to the diverse or the changing needs of the customer. Customer needs will change from time to time. Today, when you look at products like smartphones, you go back to the feature phones and essentially see what is the difference and what is the kind of journey that the phones have undergone from our land phones to mobile phones to feature phones, and feature phones to the smartphones today. Today, in fact, the core of the smartphone is saying that, okay, we are not looking at only the core function of only talking to somebody, but we have gone beyond that. Now, given these kind of scenario and the competitive scenario, one has to look into revamping new ideas, and new ideas have to be converted into new products and services. So that's what we are going to focus on in today's session. If you look into the dynamics of the markets today and the technology and competition, you will find that product development has become one of the core initiatives of any product management system that helps you to fight back the competitors. It also brings some novelty to the market. It also helps the sustenance of products in the future course of time. Let's look into the new product development premises. Why should new products be brought in? Obviously, new products have been brought in to increase the revenue and the profits of the organization. Product managers have realized that to sustain in the marketplace, we have to continuously innovate, bring in new varieties of the products or some additions, or completely go for a new class of product, creating new product categories so that our products can sustain for a longer period of time, giving better returns on the investment. Where does the responsibility lie? Of course, it lies with the product managers, the brand managers, and the category managers who are essentially looking at how to revamp the market by giving better products to cater to the changing needs of the market. But this development process goes through a series of stages. Yes, there are some planned new product development. There are some incremental product development which also takes place. For example, if you're adding a kind of new features to your product and bringing out, you must have seen in automobiles, it happens that we get a limited version, we get a compact version, we get so many things. When SUVs were launched into this market, It catered to a different class of people, but Ford Motors brought out EcoSports, which was a subcategory. Obviously, it was an innovation in terms of an existing product line by bringing in new realization in the marketplace. If you see Scooty, if you remember, Scooty was a scooterette. It had properties of a moped and, of course, properties of a scooter at an affordable range. And as a result, that really created a completely new category in the marketplace. So the stages of bringing the new product comes through a very meticulous planning that goes across all the functional areas as we in the organization, be it the R&D, be it the production, be it the logistics, or be it the market information gathering systems. Of course, marketing being the broad criteria, broad parameter, look into these activities through the product management system. Planning and coordinating such activities, as I told you, is a very, very critical function in the new product development. And we will see today how the product needs to be organized first. We have to plan for new product, that's fine, but we need to organize this new product development and how it can be developed at different stages. People from operations, finance, R&D, marketing, as I've told you, go hand in hand for identifying, for converting those ideas into conceivable products in the space and offer it to the market where the customers tend to benefit. Of course, one of the critical things is that every new product that you bring into the market attends to some solution or some problem that the consumers are facing. So it is also required for the marketing people, or especially the product managers, to also look into the existing problems or the new problems which the customers are facing, which means you need to have a mechanism where this thing can be, where the information from the consumers can be captured very effectively, and you can get insights into what these changes are, whether it's in the lifestyle, whether it's in demographic profiling, whether it is the kind of psychological profiling that has undergone change, and the changing ecosystem in terms of the environmental factors, which are, so you need to look at a macro level and then scale it down to multiple conceivable ideas which can be put into a kind of a tangible product or service. Of course, while executing, you would have to take the help of multiple departments within the organization, like the R&D department, market research agencies, who could be outsourced or are a part of your department, and of course the brand managers, who basically have to go through the process of what kind of communication devices we have to go for. So it has a long-term perspective, because when new products are brought into the market, obviously we need to plan it out in such a manner so that it does not become a failure. Now let's look at the boost. Alan Hamilton talked about that the organization which encounter major successes in product introductions essentially go through a very minute emphasis, a minute detailing in terms of the work that is done to bring in the new product. Just now I was talking about. So here he talks about not only developing those products, but also organizing it and making it available. How to organize the entire NPD function that would lead to the success of new product introductions in the marketplace. So apart from the development part, there's also the organizing part, which becomes a critical function. So we are looking into those things in today's session. And what are the things that you should be looking into? What are the key issues that are associated with the new with the organization of the new product development process? If you see, it will be mostly the people who are responsible. Just now, as I told you, that we need to consistently, in today's competitive market, look into what are the changes that are taking place. So somebody has to capture that information. Then somebody has to work on it. The R&D people are working on it. Then people who will put it into a kind of a prototype and then make it work. And then it has to be looked into from a market simulation point of view, where you're testing the product in an actual setting before you're commercializing it. So these tasks have to be accomplished within a particular time frame. You must have read, you must have been aware of when Ratan Tata talked about Nano. The project was announced at least 3 years time, at a 3 years time to introduce a product in the marketplace. It came as a completely new product in the marketplace. But before that, there was small car segment, but nobody looked at the kind of need that Nano was targeting at a very affordable range. A 1 lakh car, that's what it was promised by the company chairperson. So, but to bring it, it had to take its own time. Right? So, a series of activities had to go. The design had to change. They had to put it into a kind of testing and then so on and so forth before making a commercial entry into the marketplace. So these are the three things that who are responsible for the new product development, what are the tasks that is to be accomplished, and how are these tasks going to be performed? Who is going to perform them? So as you can see here, we can identify there are some 4 to 5 levels, I would say, going beyond the functional level, it comes down to the product and brand management level. New product development can be organized at a corporate level, at a divisional level, and at the operations level, and also at the functional department level. Mostly you will find that when we talk about new product development, our visible or our understanding has been that mostly at the functional level it is done. But the point is, there are certain activities. Today, new product development has become a kind of a permanent fixture in terms of a product management system, because it is a consistent drive by the companies to see that new products are brought into the market and they're brought in a manner and they are offered to the market so that you can leverage out of it. But where does the decision center lie? So that's where we come to the first part of it, where the new product development, new product development we will be referring to as NPD. And at the corporate level, when the corporate the top management level is involved in the NPD activities, it is basically to for introducing new product categories in the overall business. So it has got a more business implication when the decisions are taken at a corporate level. Just now give you the example of where the Tata Motor Company was asked by the chairperson, then the then chairperson Ratan Tata, to introduce a small car. So it became a kind of a thing at a corporate level, but it has to be further percolated down to the functional levels. But such cases, diversifying your portfolios, or you are getting into new markets with new products, where you are entering with new products to new markets. Over there, diversification plans, then you will find that the new product development responsibility or the organization starts with the corporate level. Ideally, when you are developing NPD or doing NPD at the corporate level, they do not focus on the existing, because that is mostly a thing which is relegated to the functional, the operational part of the organization. Here they are dealing mostly with something which they are not in, and something new to the market, and something which will help them diversify their portfolio. Like for example, ITC, getting from cigarettes to getting into FMCG market, or getting into the hotel service like the Sheraton Group. So it's a complete change of the value chain. So when such kind of new things are looked into, obviously the new product development activities are initiated mostly at the corporate level. Another thing we should also understand is that it has got a future perspective attached to it in terms of the expansion plan of an organization. Well, the market conditions are obviously not the same. There are some markets which are very slow, and over there maybe small product innovation, NPD as we call it, may play a very minor role, and such kind of innovations may be relegated to the, as I told you, to the functional level or to the operational level executives. But in a fast changing market, where innovation becomes critical, you have to change it, because there's a mantra which is talked about, like either you innovate or you perish. in today's market, this is the reality that markets are changing dramatically at a faster rate. When I'm saying market is changing, it means the consumer taste and preferences are changing, their priorities are changing, they are themselves going through a lot of changes in terms of their evaluation of the existing product portfolios. So when you talk about that, between the companies, you need to establish certain advantages, and to have to one of the competitive advantages comes from how innovative is your product management system. So today companies are inclined towards making innovation or new product development as a consistent part of their marketing strategy, product marketing strategy. And generally here, obviously, such level of intervention requires very high level intervention in the top management. So that is where these strategic decisions with respect to new product areas or new identified product categories mostly takes place at the corporate level. It has certain advantages and certain disadvantages. Also, the advantages that since it is taken at the corporate level, decisions are faster to be taken and implementation is. So there you get a complete focus on that. But yes, there are some bottlenecks which happens in terms of how you execute it, because you may not have you may have a centralized research system, and you have to put in a lot of people out there to achieve the results. For example, today, when during the COVID times, when the Serum Institute of India, we developed the antidote for the vaccines, right, for the coronavirus. So the Covishield and the when we talk about Covaxin, those Covaxin especially was a ingenuity of the Indian company SRI, Serum Institute of India. And if you see over there, it required a massive kind of an input in terms of the research. So over there, the corporate level integration did help achieve the results. So during pandemic times or during critical times, corporate level involvement or organizing of new product development helps in a big way. Coming on to the procedural issues, yes, it becomes slightly easier because people at the corporate level are focused only on this activity. They don't get into the day-to-day other activities, right? So that is one of the things which goes in advantages if you are looking at the NPD organization at the central level. But it also has the negatives could be the timeline, how faster they respond to the current thing, and how seriously they are able to bring out those changes. That is something that needs to be seen. And of course, in an organization, you have separation. You have your production units are somewhere else. You are somewhere else. Your R&D is somewhere else. So that integration may be a certain issue in terms of the new product development. But nevertheless, it is definitely got its advantages. Next, we move to the divisional level. So as you look into from the top level, we go down to the divisional level. And divisional level, when we talk in terms of, let's say, the SBUs that we identified, the strategic business units, they play a very critical role, because depending upon their markets, they develop the need for new product development, and they are aligned to their criticalities that are surrounding that industry. So if you are in a business which is changing very fast, your competitors are completely coming out with new products every time. Look into one tech products. Mostly in the smartphone market, you have seen that every year Apple comes out with new products, but so also the Samsung comes out with almost A to Z. They produce smartphones and they cater to that wider launch. So here the volumes of bringing in the new product becomes slightly larger, and they have to get into this, because if they have to maintain that competitive advantage, it becomes critical. So at a divisional level, they take up the onus of making it happen. A new product unit may have to be conceived to put people on to make things happen, which basically in the new product development, and they generally report to the divisional head. Of course, when you are looking into such kind of initiative, the new product development generally involves very large budget, a big ticket kind of an intervention, and it may take a longer period time to bring in as a response to the competitors market in a competitive market. The advantages again are similar to what corporate level does, because at divisional level they understand the importance. So they ensure, while they are organizing, they ensure that the people who are assigned the new product development are kept at bay from the day-to-day functioning or day-to-day crisis management that they have to do in the daily work of product man. So over here the focus is there, and you can always get it activated. Secondly, being a part of a divisional, you can also be a part of the corporate, you are closer to the corporate level strategy makers. So it helps you to streamline your work. The problem happens at the operational level because you may not have all the resources at the same place. So you need to identify the where will you operationalize the. So generally there is a friction between where the development will take place, how it is going to be implemented, and so on and so forth. So operational hassles are likely to come up. So that is something which needs to be tied up. But then I'm sure at that level also companies can, at divisional level also, they will be assigning roles and responsibilities to the operational departments with certain amount of control. We'll talk about the structural roles as we go along to control the new product development at that level. So most companies prefer to give it back to the next level, that is the operational level. So below the divisional level, the departments are most, because if you see, operational people are the ones who actually feel the heat, because when they see the products, new product development is taking place, implementation is taking place, the ideas keep coming to a content, they play a very critical role in the execution of the new product development process. Hence, what will happen in this case is that even the decision level, it's something is taken, it percolates down to the operational level. On the operational level, what happens? Some of the departments are selected basically to be a part of the new product development process. And of course, you will look into, in addition to the basic work, that's another issue, that in addition to the their basic work of handling their existing products, the operational people also have to get into the various aspects of NPD. Like for example, the distribution and the adjustments that they need to go, the kind of collection that they need to get in terms of the information. New product testing, for example, has to be done. So they have to get into those activities. So that is why at a operational level also, few people are assigned this work. NPD is assigned to a particular department or a functional area to take care of the new product development. Mostly in this case, what happens, they are given to the functional areas like the marketing department or the brand management or to R&D. So mostly you'll find that the functional type of, when you look at operational, it obviously leads into the functional department, because here the functional department obviously are the ones who have been assigned the responsibility of new product development, and they try to ensure that whatever is developed is basically tested, tried, and used in the marketplace. If there is a good feedback coming from the market, then take it to a commercialization. So they're very actively involved. The marketing department and the R&D department are mostly very popular choices, where the functional type of organization of the new product development process are activated. One has to look into. Here I would like to take a slight time to understand why marketing people are more preferred compared to other departments. If you see the marketing department activities, a typical marketing manager engages with all the activities of not only talking in terms of bringing in products, but offering in the marketplace, putting up the communicating about it, looking into distribution, looking into the intermediaries, logistics, everything, right? So they have a understanding of the complete set of how things have to be implemented. One of the critical functions which they also do is on a day-to-day basis, they get a lot of feedbacks from the consumers. Of course, there are multiple sources of information which can be collected, but this is very critical from the new product development point of perspective because uh, consumers mostly explain their concerns, their problem areas. And when we talk about things like market insight, consumer insights, you will find there are a lot of time the marketing managers or the product managers essentially spend more time with the consumers. They conduct a lot of focus group discussions, the qualitative surveys, right? Both quantitative and qualitative can be done. I remember that when Seagrams entered the market into their called beverages, they carried out a massive work involving the kind of alcohol consumption that takes place uh, and how it is basically used by an Indian consumer. For example, alcohol is considered to be a little bit of unethical in current market. But having said that, we in India, like tobacco, is also considered to be a kind of a no-go. But the point is that these products are still there. But then, even in those cases, we need to find out how how the products have to be offered. For that, one has to go back to the source, that is the consumer, and understand the issues there. Issues will give rise to ideas, right? And marketers are best suited to collect that information from the market, which we call as the insights to the market. And you also get to know what is the competition doing, how is the competition giving better products in comparison to you, and where is that area of gap which is existing. So gap identification is very well done by the marketing or the product marketing people. So accordingly, the price points at which you are going to offer that at a later stage becomes quite critical. So it becomes also important that what kind of features one needs to focus so as to give more value to the customers. How much is valued by the customer is basically when they see more benefits accrue to them. So what is it that makes the products viable in the marketplace? Before the product even has been decided, you try to see which is the area which you're going to focus. Now, this takes care of a lot of problems that we must have read about, a term called marketing myopia. The myopic vision that mostly comes into the product management system while you're advocating a kind of a new product development. Most of us, we feel that if getting a new product with good quality, good features, will essentially have bias. For example, the 3D television or the dishwashers in the 80s when it was launched, they failed to resonate or they failed to get acceptance from the customers. The same thing can happen that if you are not getting the right kind of insights or you're not able to convert that particular product idea into a tangible product which actually attends to the need of the customer, then what happens? Your entire NPT or the initiative that you take falls apart. So to look into that, the product managers or the marketing managers whose work is primarily to see what are the changing tastes and preferences, which we call as that, and carry out enough market research activities at a product level, at a brand level, at a identification of new solution areas. And they have to also not only they stay with that particular information, then it is again rooted back to the maybe let's say the R&D, right? So, like for example, if you see the Pringles, the chips, why should it be a big? Why should it be of uniform? Why should it consider a packaging which helps? The packaging normally protects, but the point is whether the packaging not only protects but also ensures that the chips don't break, the chips don't become brittle. So a lot of insights studies have to be carried out to bring out this newness in your offering at a later stage. And many a times, if these new parameters that you want to bring out, or a new, completely new product that you bring out, if it does not attend to the, the kind of question that that the customer asks, is that what's in it for me, it doesn't attend, it does not resonate. So marketing people get better understanding. Hence, at a functional level, marketing people are most ideal choice for implementing the new product development initiatives at the functional level of the functional department of the organization. Of course, if you are into a technology space, new product development is a critical function, because you see, in every product, the product can be rendered redundant or can become obsolete. So until unless you are able to find out where is the, what is the total life cycle the product can be there, and what can you do to enhance the product life cycle by improvisation or bringing modification, that's going to be a critical parameter, and it becomes an important part of any marketing exercise. Hence, marketing people are very, very critical. But it also brings in another thing. For example, if we give it to other agencies, other consultancies, like research consultancies, yes, they can do the job, but the point is, again, you will have to recalibrate yourself. So a lot of hassles, right? And of course, there are privacy issues, there are confidentiality issues. We do not want to divulge what we are trying to do to our competitors, lest it becomes a kind of a competitive intelligence for them, and it becomes a kind of a deterrent. So before you launch the product, they may come up with a better version and come. So you find that the response from your competitors can be recalibrated if you are depending on. So how you develop your own resources and get them onto the and align them to your new product development initiatives is very critical. But having said that, yes, marketing department, as I told you, has got a lot of activities which they look into. But putting them into a new product development also creates additional pressure. So sometimes it becomes a kind of a procedural, it's a kind of an operational issue. So ideally, if the marketing people are given a simple focus of the new product development team sort of a thing is worked out, who are exclusively focusing on that, that becomes easy to operate. But having said that, they also have got their targets to achieve. They also have to ensure that the markets are, the existing product lines which they have, which are offering from the market to the market, are also doing well. So it becomes an added pressure and becomes slightly difficult to manage. But anyways, we have to, in today's market, we cannot look into those kind of avenues. One has to bring up new product or develop new products to cater to the future requirements and sustainability of the business. If you are into an industrial setup, into a B2B, in new product development becomes very, very critical. Here you have to understand that the marketers also have to be a little bit technically more savvy, or which means their knowledge domain also has to be a little bit more aligned to that. So how do you bring that into it? So when you are recruiting people, you have to see that people with techno and management, both skills together, or marketing skills together, are selected, are brought into the system, which helps them, because in the industrial product, what happens, it is a kind of a consulting kind of a thing. You have to get into understanding what is the mechanisms, the technology behind it, and how your product can help them, align to that, how it will be compatible. So all these issues becomes slightly skewed when in terms of the choice of handling the new product development initiatives at in the organization at a functional level, right? But then, does it end with that? Does it, does it only end with the marketing department? Today, we find that it goes down further to the product managers. So it's mostly made where your product range is proliferating at a higher level, and there is a lot of pressure on top in terms of getting to the market. For example, in HUL, if you talk about innovations, new product development, it is a very tough task looking into a large assortment of products and to be handled at a corporate level or the divisional level. Of course, the divisional levels are involved in it, but then there is a certain amount of integration in terms of the execution of the new product process. So you'll find that wherever they're into highly a portfolio which is very a large portfolio, the burden is quite high at the top level. You will find that essentially the product managers are called in to, of course, marketing, as I told you, they are good, they are given their bonus, but product managers play a very, very critical role to carry out the product management system. And that gives rise to a very unique set of conducting the entire new product development. Yes, you do have assignment in terms of you are given a separate department, you are given certain choices, but it is basically it boils down to having a matrix system of organizing that new product development. Because broadly, it can happen that a product manager is not only looking into existing products, but they're also looking into the new product development, the new product development. Few things you will understand in a company which has got a very large portfolio of products. To bring in more effectiveness in the marketing of products and services, they get down to involving products or brand managers at a micro level to manage the products or brands. And whenever these people are put onto a new product development, it's a job by itself that they know that if they have to sustain in the marketplace, these people have to bring in, if you're into a space where your products get substituted every year, right? So obviously the burden lies with the product manager to bring in. But while executing that job, while executing the new product scenario, they have to engage with multiple departments to execute the thing. So maybe they're reporting maybe to their boss, but overall they could be reporting to somebody for the new product development at a corporate level, which means what the kind of the scope becomes slightly enlarged for a product manager to handle, and there are multiple command systems which are put into play. Like for example, when and you will find that companies like Amul, automobile companies, if you see the organization, market organization, some of them could be functionally organized into the functional department. Some of them could be organized on the basis of regions, and some of them could be looking into the product or brands that I was just talking about. So based on the marketing domain. So but the product and the brand managers are more conducive to a new product development rather than the geographic or the other areas. But in case of new product development, the added thing is because of the complexities that are involved, that is adding your basic work and also the new product, they try to combine, fuse it, and give it in form of a matrix kind of a system. So to make things work, you will find a lot of matrix form of organization is implemented at a product manager level to execute the initiatives. Now, when they do that, they of course also have to correspondingly deal with multiple other people in the chain of commands. So that is very, very interesting, but at the same time, it also brings in a lot of capabilities, right? So here the advantage is that since the product manager is focused on one brand, they know each and everything about the brand. They also know that, okay, if I have to extend that, if I bring in the new product, that focus can be there, and they would be mostly giving full time to planning out the new things. But they have to also understand, they also have to do some kind of time management, and it is an HR issue, coordinations and things like that to add on to this. But in terms of execution of the new product initiatives, they are best suited. The product managers are best suited to execute the job because they are dealing with in and out of this at an executive level. But yes, if the new product development is looking at a massive macro level, then of course the corporate level and the divisional level organization becomes critical to the success of the products. If you look into the ITC expansion, now every company expands. So, uh, in an FMCG company, mostly you'll find that the assortments are very large because of the kind of nature of the product. If you're into consumer durables, right, the the challenge is slightly less, but then it is also there because today's market is also proliferating. They're diversifying, I would say, senselessly into multiple areas. And when you are diversifying, you have to bring something new to the marketplace. And when that happens, new product development becomes a very, very critical function to understand. And you have to, as I told you, and it has to be constituted at a apex level and looked upon it as not a fly by night operation. Like today it's there, tomorrow it's not there. Today the need of the hour is that you have to continuously monitor the market trends, continuously understand the change in the tastes and preferences of the customer, and look at what could be the need gaps in the marketplace, and then look into the technology intervention that you need to do to significantly value add the product in the marketplace, and then giving it at a price points where you do not incur losses, right? And executable part, you execute it through a very extensive distribution network. Just understand a company like ITC, which was into tobacco products, and that was a major contributing product line to the exchequer or to the financial accomplishment. And the moment they think of changing, getting into FMCG market, broad basing their products, they bring in some experience. That's fine, but they also need to understand that to get into new businesses, they have to institutionalize certain value chain changes. If you're getting into diametrically different kind of new product categories, then the entire value chain has to be there. So, which means when you see the value chain implications right from the primary activities to the supporting activities. If you see the Michael Porter's value chain concept, we're looking at validation happening at every step, and the newness to the product or the idea is happening at every step. So how do you capture that and make it available? Because we are in a market where we talk about value creation, value delivery, and value communication, the 3V concept. So, and only when you are value driven, you will be able to achieve that. And NPD has to play a role, in terms of identifying the newness and then catering to the market according to what the things, what they want to bring to the table. Next, we should move into the structural units of new product development. Now here, as I told you, today NPD or new product development is a strategic decision that every company engages in. So today the thrust has been that we create a new product department by itself. It is a permanent stature which has to continuously look at how to value add products by bringing in new products or by improvising the current products by incremental changes or modifications, or to bring in completely new categories to the marketplace so that your business in the future is taken care of. We're talking about sustenance parameters, right? So generally the new product development is any other functional department has become a stronger emphasis, and it can be operational or it can be put into it can be organized at both the corporate level, at the highest level, at the divisional level, and the operational level. And operations can lead to functional and combat, right? So this is the need of the hour. As I told you, that today's market says that either you innovate or you perish. If innovation is the drive, if technology is going to be a major disruptor, is going to change the way of things, you have to imply, and you know that we have talked about in the last class, that how technology plays an important role in the product planning process, the portfolio management. So this becomes very critical, and not only at strategic decisions we take at the corporate level where the top management is involved, But how you carry it forward at a division level, at an SBU level, at the business unit level, then perhaps identifying your departments who can best be a kind of uh, mm, an area which can contribute towards the new product development or which can help in executing new product development. When you look into the next step, so this has to be further supported by a committee. A committee is the next most important, where you are saying yes, again it is a permanent fixture, because and the committee should consist people from multiple departments, because such initiatives will call for expenditure, investments, decisions like technology, things like how the operational cost, how you produce it, how effectively, how you optimize the thing, what are the safety standards that they have to see. So the product committee needs to have people from both the top management as well as the business unit level across various departments, maybe, to continuously monitor the implementation of new product development initiatives in the organization. So these are critical because they give you a base on which the new product development as a recognized initiative to create competitive advantage in the marketplace is getting operationalized, is getting basically brought into the management system, the market, the product management system. The other three committees or the entities which we talk about are sort of temporary nature, right? They're temporary primarily because of the need of the hour at that point of time. If you talk about the ad hoc, these are units which are given very specific tasks, and again they can happen at all the three levels. You can have expert committees, you can have people from, you can invite consultants also from outside, you can sit for that particular activity, and we also look into what is that newness that we want to bring to the marketplace in terms of new product ideas. For example, when you talk about NPD, one of the critical stages is the brainstorming stage, where new ideas, new things are worked out. As I told you some time back, that today's marketers, to be successful in the marketplace or to have an edge over the competition, must know what is the insight. Those insights, how they are collected, how they can be brought, those insights can be converted into tangible products or conceivable tangible products or services by which you can value add to the customer requirements and give them better value. So when that happens, you will find that ad hoc committees play a critical role in executing. They're temporary because they can be here for, let's say, if you're looking into certain product categories, you cannot have a similar a permanent person who could be associated. You need to have multiple people. So it is on an ad hoc basis. It is for a short time period maybe, and it's a part-time kind of an engagement that these committees are formulated, which looks into basically how to fructify the new inputs which are coming into a tangible and a business proposition. Going forward, the task force, as the name suggests, is also temporary in nature. Here it is slightly on the implementation part of the process, where they are critically involved in the execution process. So for example, the new product development which happens involves a lot of engagement at various operational heads at the operational level as well as at the divisional level. There will be multiple departments who could be involved in it, taking them onto the thing, experimenting those ideas, implement and running simulated tests in the marketplace. It's a humongous task. It involves a lot of time, initiative, and a full-fledged attention, if I may say so. So the task force have their life cut out for, in terms of that the project which they have taken it up, how that can be executed. It's one kind of a turnkey project for them to see that right from the initiation, how it is being involved, how it is being achieved in terms of completion. Yes, while you are doing test, you are getting inputs, you are looking into revising their product, maybe they're looking into change certain parameters of the product, but all these are part of the task force. They are the ones who actually see to it that within that particular period of time, how the product actually idea, I would say, not a new product, it's a product idea, actually stands the test of the time based on their reports, based on their market testing results. Then we will look into executing it into the space before going for a commercialization and going at full steam. They are the ones who would call whether this particular product warrants a kind of a go ahead or they should be implemented in practical terms, right? So they play a role in that, and once of course the products are introduced, they may be dismantled. So that's why it's temporary. And getting into the venture team, takes, this is like a unit which is mostly involves people at the top end, because as I told you, the task force is implementing that, but whether it is really serving, whether it has got ethical aspects, those things which are broad aspects are looked in by the venture team. This is a interdisciplinary team consisting of people from multiple disciplines, multiple experiences, because new product ideas, you don't know how it will be taken up when you are actually doing the test marketing. So you have to read between the lines. You have to understand whether that risk is worth taking for implementing it. So here the involvement of the top management or the corporate level intervention is of a dire necessity, because end of the day you are not just bringing in a new product, you're trying to add a new dimension to the business initiative. Hence the venture team is a very critical function, but again it's a temporary thing, because it can dismantle for a particular because it's come for a particular objective, right? Of course they would be coordinating with mostly the product committees and the ad hoc committees which have been made to execute, to see to it that what has been planned, what has been worked out, what is the timeline that they have taken to introduce the product. Is it, so for example, the new product introduction requires lesser time or can be extended, it will primarily depend upon the market forces. Now, those decisions may not be there with the other team, but these people can invariably say that, okay, they can come as, what I would say, a sounding block and take very important decisions in terms of the execution of the complete mission. Because they also would be critically evaluating whether, in some cases, whether you should go for a introduction or you should not, or you should stagger it, or you should hold on for some time for till the market opens up a little bit, or the customers become a little bit more aware, or what. Obviously, when you do that, you also look into your competitors who are doing what they are doing. Are they getting an edge? If you remember the 5 forces model, whether it is attractive, how substantial it is, these kind of consideration, the size of the market, the kind of the new product area, how it is attending, is it going to grow into a major product category, or it will stay as a small category? All these parameters are looked into, and the venture team basically looks into the go ahead part, to whether to really see to that whether the go ahead is implementable or not. The success and the failure obviously depends a lot on their how they are evaluating every step, what the task force have done, what is kind of ad hoc team has contributed, and how far is that playing in the marketplace. If you are bringing that in the marketplace, is it generating more revenue for the organization? All these parameters are looked upon, and this is a strategic team which is involved. That is why it is multidisciplinary in their area and are able to bring newness, new thrust to the expansion of the product lines. Going into this, so today we had a look at the how new products earlier were almost an ignored area. People were mostly saddled with product managers, saddled with certain product categories, and the need to maybe find out new products did not exist because the market changes were not very consistent. But with the competition coming in, market opening up, ever since the LPG era started in 1993, uh, the market Indian consumers were open to new avenues. So when new choices started coming up, there was a pressure on the product management teams within the marketing department to give something new to the marketplace. And it was also found that some products, because of the nature of consumption, at some point of time were needed weeding out. So they had to leave the marketplace. You have to implement, you have to substitute it with better options in the marketplace. Even the music industry today, we're talking about Spotify. You don't need anything. You just on the internet, you log in and just have a playlist, and you can always get some beautiful array of music that's there. Gone are those days where you have to go to the shop, buy a disc, or run it into the system, and so on and so forth. Just you need a phone, you just need some kind of a subscription that you need to have. And then, so things are changing at a dramatic pace. So if new product development is not taken up in the right earnest, your future perspectives of the growth of the business is a will be at bay. So we understood why the NPD, but at the same time, when you're looking into because new product development also enhances the strengthening of your product portfolio. Now, going forward, we know that such a thing to achieve in the midst of a regular routine work is tough. So, organizing at a multiple level is the need of the hour. So, for certain initiatives, the central level people are involved, the corporate level team are involved, the think tanks. In certain cases, the SBU level or the divisional level of the organization, a multi-branded, in multi-business conglomerates, they are involved at, or the basically the business unit heads are involved, or it could be at the level of the operations. Most you will find that new product development comes down to an operational level because that is where the executable part is looked into. But even at that level, you need to identify the right department or an entity or a person who would be in. And generally you'll find that it's a marketing people or R&D people who are brought into the system. But studies have shown that marketing people play are most preferable to carry out these exercises, primarily because of the daily routine of work, the kind of work that they do in the marketplace, engaging with a lot of people, with the consumers, with the intermediaries, with the communication people, the research people. They are best suited to not only try out new ideas but also implementation of the new ideas to see whether that can be a workable thing or not. Things like test marketing, where will you hold the test markets? How will it be spread? How will you is it giving you the representative of your target profiles in the marketplace? These are the things which help qualify marketing department to play a very significant role in the organizing of the product development initiatives of the organization. And if you see your workbook, which has been given, plenty of activities have been given to sensitize, to study various B2B context or FMCG context within which the new product development initiatives are taken to meet the goals and objectives of the organization. So almost we are on the fag end of the class timings now. With this, I would like to end today's session. Thank you so much.